Hello everyone. Today I will be showing you a highly specialized mech build. Something that I call as a special operations kind of mech. A dedicated sniper. Something that you wouldn't necessarily take to any mission out there, but mostly to a very specific kind of mission. And that kind of mission is going to be a targeted kill. It's got to be either a targeted kill or the assassination contract. Alright. Now I came to this system because obviously it had this targeted kill contract, but also it's got active rival mercenaries in here, which are Wolf's Dragoons, which are basically the elite of the elite. On top of that, obviously, you also get a 100 difficulty level. I have a mod that allows me to modify a difficulty level, and I always max it out at this point, because like I said in previous video, I will never settle for anything less than 100 at this point. Now, what is this sniper mech? It's the Annihilator packed with 4 heavy rifles. Now, let's talk a little bit about this weapon. What is a heavy rifle after all? Well, all of these ballistic rifles, heavy rifles, medium rifles, and light rifles, as well as chemical lasers, these are all ancient low-tech weapons predating the modern standard lasers and standard autocannons. They are very old kinds of weapons that predate even a Star League. Low-tech weapons that are mostly being produced in the periphery and distributed mostly on black markets. You won't necessarily find these things in the industrial hubs. They are mostly available in conflict zones, even though sometimes I've seen the ammo for these weapons in the industrial hubs, but not necessarily the weapons themselves. Okay, now, if these are the low-tech weapons, then why am I using them? Well, it's got 3 very beautiful aspects. The heavy rifle has a really nice 3 aspects about it. What these are is that let's take a look at the specs. First beautiful aspect is look at the damage level. It's 23.4 points of damage. For a comparison, Gauss rifle, the tier 5 Gauss rifle, generates only 21 points of damage. Alright? The AC-20 generates, AC-20 tier 5, I should say, generates 26 points of damage. Alright? So this falls in between the Gauss rifle and AC-20 in terms of damage generation. Now, what's the other beautiful thing about it? Look at the weight. It weighs only 8 tons. For the comparison, AC-5 weighs 8 tons. Alright? So, while weighing only as the AC-5, it generates almost as much damage as the AC-20. Just think about it. That's very beautiful. Now, what's the third beautiful thing about this rifle? That thing is the range. Now, if you take a look at the specs, it says only 825 meters. However, in reality, this is not quite accurate. It's actually much more than this. Because from my experience, I was able to take down targets with these weapons that are far beyond a sensor range. A crappy MechWarrior 5 sensor range. Even beyond the range of this antenna, which tries to improve the problem with the MechWarrior 5 range. At this point, you just really have to rely on your vision to take down that target while sniping it. Your vision, your advanced zoom, and perhaps the thermal vision sometimes, which hopefully I will get an opportunity to show you in this mission. So it's much longer range than the advertised one in the specs. It's probably twice as much than you know, the 825 meters. So these are the three beautiful things about this weapon: its range, its damage level, and its weight. Now, it's not all roses, of course. It's got three ugly things to it too. Alright, so what are those ugly things? Well, the ugliest one is perhaps its firing rate. It takes a very long time to reload. Look at this, it's 8 RPM. That's a way too long. Okay, so if you fire it once, you will have to wait until it reloads almost forever. It feels like forever within the heat of a combat, right? So that's the first ugly thing. Second ugly thing, well, it's the ammo. 1 ton of heavy rifle ammo contains only 12 rounds. That's very little, very little. For a comparison, standard AC-20 contains 20 rounds per ton. And finally, another ugly thing about it is the heat. Look at this. It's 7.75 points of heat. That's a lot. For a comparison, standard PPC tier 5 generates 6.2 points of heat. So it's hotter than a standard PPC. Firing all 4 of them in Alpha Strike is gonna generate immense amount of heat. With this 13 single hit sinks, which I have installed in here, you cannot fire more than twice in a single row the Alpha Strikes. You cannot fire them more than twice without overheating and getting a thermal shutdown. So you have to be extremely cautious about it. That's a lot of heat. So anyways, this is what these heavy rifles are. But if you use them wisely, you can get a pretty incredible results out of them. Again, this is a very specialized build. This is something that I wouldn't take to any kind of mission, and as a matter of fact, I have only one of these builds, because I will never ever assign this to any of my AI Lancemates, because they just don't understand it. They won't be able to take a full advantage of it. They don't know how to use something like this. It's only for you to pilot, no one else. Now, let's discuss a little bit of specifics of this build, and how did I come to this kind of conclusion. Why am I using this particular configuration like that? So, as I've mentioned, I have 13 single hit sinks in here. which may sound like a lot. It's not at all. And then I've got 120 rounds of ammo, which sounds like a lot. It's not at all. You know, divide this by 4, and you will get like 30 rounds of alpha strikes if you will use this in alpha strikes. But obviously this is not how I am gonna use it. Of course, yeah, I'm gonna use it in alpha strike, but also I will be doing some single shots as well, especially, you know, if you need to take out some lightly armored targets like tanks and helicopters. But against mechs, yeah, I would use this in alpha strike. So it's not a lot of ammo for that purpose. So you have to be very careful and use it wisely when you shoot something like that. Lastly, speaking of heat dissipation, again, this 13 single hit sinks, it's a bare minimum. Now, one might ask me, okay, look, I've got like, I don't know, like over 2000, almost 2500 double hit sinks. Why am I not just go ahead and use double hit sinks instead? Well, there are a few reasons for this. First of all, if I were to keep the same amount of ammo, I will be able to use only 4 double hit sinks in this configuration, and it's not enough. It's less heat dissipation than the 13 single hit sinks. All right. Now one might ask, okay, if I use single hit sinks here, why don't I just go ahead and replace these single hit sinks with these double ones? Well, if you wanna do this, go ahead and do it. I won't, simply because this isn't quite lore accurate, and these days I am just trying to be a little bit more conservative about this kind of things, because it's not quite lore accurate. In the lore, you cannot mix double hit sinks with single hit sinks. As a matter of fact, if you've ever played MechWarrior 2, you couldn't, not that you only couldn't mix single hit sinks with double hit sinks there, you also had to perform an upgrade on a mech that comes with single hit sinks, and you had to pay for that upgrade in order to be able to install double hit sinks in that mech. And once you do that, if you wanna go back to single hit sinks, then you had to perform a downgrade to single hit sinks, and you had to pay for that downgrade as well. That's the way the MechWarrior 2 was. So I'm kinda trying to keep this trend here as well, just because, you know, I'm trying to be more conservative, even though MechWarrior 5 allows mixing singles with doubles. If you wanna do this, go ahead, but I'm not gonna do that, at least for now. Finally, what other major changes have I done to this chassis? Again, I'm sorry that I'm talking too much about this build instead of spending some time on the battlefield, but I believe that this is important. The other major change which I've done to this mech is the increase of armor. Let's take a look at the stack configuration. So this is what it comes in stack. The biggest problem with this, and by the way, I also use these weapons as well in this build, but That's a subject for another video. I don't want to spend much time on this. I will make another dedicated video related to this kind of build as well, but not now. All I'm trying to say is that the biggest problem with a stock chassis, stock Annihilator chassis, is, look at this, 420 points of armor. That is nothing for a 100-ton mech moving at only 32 kilometers per hour. This is a pity. 400 points is unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. Now look what I've done to this. Actually, let's revert it. 655.2. This is an exact number which I have on all of my atlases. It's the same amount of armor as all of my atlases. And trust me, it really needs it. It walks slow, it will most likely get shot a lot, and it needs every bit of armor it can get. Now, as far as Annihilator chassis is concerned, I will be willing to do anything. I will downgrade weapons, I will take less ammo, but I will never ever do any compromises on the armor. Ever. I will use every bit of it, except I slightly shaved off from a center torso, just slightly, because you see I'm getting just few points over tonnage. I will just shave 2 points. That's it, only 2 points, that's it. Everything else is maxed out. Moreover, I allocated everything more towards the front. You see the armor allocation, everything goes towards the front, and the cockpit is maxed out. You don't wanna die or lose your pilots to the under-armored cockpit. Lastly, in order to help it with a heat dissipation, I've downgraded medium pulse lasers to medium short burst lasers, and I actually I absolutely love these weapons. These are one of my favorite lasers ever. Nothing wrong with the standard lasers, I love them too, but what I love about the short burst lasers is that while they are generating slightly less damage than the standard lasers, they generate less heat and they have a better firing rate, a shorter cooldown time, which is actually huge. But anyways, let's go ahead and see how this build performs in the actual combat, in the actual mission. So once again, let's take a look at this contract. Obviously, in terms of the payout, it's gonna be a horrible contract, because look at this. These guys, they hate my guts. As I've mentioned in one of my previous videos, I've made a mistake early in the campaign when I wasn't experienced enough. I just fought them way too much. I shouldn't have done it. In my other career mode, I have a hero standing with these guys. Now, as I've mentioned, we have rival mercenaries, these wolves, dragoons, the guys that are really good, elites of the elites, on top of 100 difficulty level. Now, another important thing about this contract is that it might give me an opportunity to show you this particular build in a situation where it shines. You see, it's a fairly large combat area, 20.25 kilometers, square kilometers. I might be able to show you how this weapon works at longer ranges, at sniping targets. Well, then let's take a look at the contracts itself. Now, the fact that it has a high amount of base payout, despite the fact that these guys hate me, tells me that we will be dealing with these guys, the rival mercenaries in this contract. Because look, I have a good standing with House Steiner, okay, and in this contract the base payout is only 3 millions, whereas these guys, while they hate me, they offer me 10 millions in base payout. This is once again because we will most definitely encounter these Wolf's Dragoons in here. Anyway, so let's go ahead and take this contract. Let's confirm it. And now I am going to take this heavy rifle build, while my Lancemates, they are also going to take the Annihilators. However, they are going to take the ones loaded with the autocannon AC LB10X autocannons. I did some changes on this build as well. I'm not gonna go into the details what kind of changes I've made, but just do know that I did increase the armor. I will make a separate video on this build. Just do note that it's got the same amount of armor as I do. That's the major change. And as you can see, I've also downgraded some of the medium lasers to small ones. The reason is that I will use my Lancemates. Actually, I think I have all female Lancemates in here as well, just like in the previous video. I will use my Lancemates here only as bodyguards. I will try to snipe all the targets at a distance with my heavy rifles. That's the tactic I will try to use. I will try sniping them, and my Lancemates, these guys, or I should say girls, actually, they will be protecting me in case if something will try to get close to me. That's it. That's it. That's my tactic. But whether it's gonna work or not, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Ideally, this is what I'm aiming for in here. Anyways, I know I'm talking too much. Let's go ahead and see how it's gonna work.
Our targets have given our employer nothing but problems.
I'm sorry, there is one more thing that I forgot to mention. It's very important. Speaking of this build, let me show you something real quick. It's how you group these weapons, okay? I wanna be able to shoot all of these heavy rifles in an alpha strike. I need to have this kind of opportunity, so within a single push of a button. So I assigned all of them to the group 4. But at the same time, I want to have an opportunity to shoot them in singles. Therefore, as you can see, I assigned the chain fire to the 2 rifles that are located in the arms, and then the 2 again in chain that are located in the torso, and then the lasers I will be just to make things easier, I will just shoot all of them in the alpha strike. Alright, let's continue with this. Let's see what we will get. So let's take a look at the map. I guess let's check out this the closest area. Ah, okay. So there is one Atlas. Hold on a second, I guess we will have to deal with the rival mercenaries now. But this Atlas is probably one of our assigned targets. We'll deal with him later. Let's just, you know, get rid of all the rivals in here. Let's turn on the thermal vision. So these are Wolf Dragoons. They actually like piloting Annihilators as well. They were actually the ones who brought them into the inner sphere. Okay, this has got a headshot. That's what the Alpha Strike does. Heavy rifle Alpha Strike. Let's now see if we can do the same with this one. Nope. Nope, I missed it. Okay. No. Alright. Okay. Finished off with the laser, and then we have one more left. 3 Thunderbolts. 1 Battlemeister and Thunder. Oh boy. He's noticed us, this Atlas, so we'll have to deal with him at a close range. Yeah, things didn't go as planned, unfortunately. I was hoping to get rid of him at a longer age, the longer range, but it's not gonna happen. We'll have to deal with him at a close range, which is a bummer. Let's try. Okay, that might have been a headshot. I don't know. My Lancemates didn't tell me anything, so maybe not. We'll see. Oh boy, and then these guys also have noticed us. Yeah, things just didn't go as I was hoping to. Well, let's get rid of these helicopters. Here's how we can snipe him. Look at this. Poor guy. Okay, so I will send my Lancemates in here because they are trying to be very proactive and I don't want them to. I have left all of my female Lancemates from the previous mission here as well. Are they coming to us or not? Or they will be just stomping over there. Okay, come on, girls, move a bit further. Don't stand there because you'll be getting some LRM shots, and this is not something that I would want to.
At requested location, Commander. Relocated, Commander.
I'm sorry, guys. Things just did not go as planned in here. I was hoping to show you how it works at longer ranges, but we get to fight everyone is here as usual. What a bummer. What a bummer. Get rid of this Phoenix Hawk, please. First. Okay, 1 Alpha Strike and Phoenix Hawk is gone. That was also shot in the back, where he doesn't have much armor. And then this Orion. Okay. Alright, he's heavily damaged. His torso is almost gone. Let's see if we can finish him off with lasers. Yes. Indeed we could. Okay. Let's get rid of this Assam first. He's gone, you see. 1 Alpha Strike. This guy is gone. Then this Atlas. I believe this is like a 2nd or 3rd Atlas in here, if I'm not mistaken. Reloading for too long. Okay, he is done. He is done. We have a dropship coming in. Enemy dropship. We'll pick up this stuff later. So we've got, who do we get? Another Assam. We just killed one,
If you
but...
find the acquisition, just walk up to it in order to pick it up.
Okay, one Alpha Strike and the Centurion is gone. Then this... Okay. Reloading, reloading. Ah, I was hoping to give him a headshot, but my Lancemate did a good job. Alright, so... Anyone else? No, this is it. Oh boy, what a bummer, what a bummer. Things just didn't go as planned. Yeah, I'm not even in the mood picking up this stuff. Well, I guess let's see what we will get in here. Yeah, I might will have to make another video.
You found it. Nicely done. Bringing it aboard now.
Well, as you can see, it was a successful mission nevertheless, because let's see how much damage we've generated. So this one has, yeah, it's only an armor damage. It's actually pretty good shape. And then this one, yeah, armor damage. Nothing serious. So when you think about it, we've killed like what, 3 Atlases, 2 Asams, a bunch of those, you know, assault mechs, 1 Battlemeister as far as I can remember, and then the Wolves, Dragoons ones, and then they also had 3 Thunderbolts. So a bunch of heavies, a bunch of assaults, and technically the mission was a success, but I am just not happy about the fact that this isn't quite what I was going to show you in this video, because if I only knew that we will be doing a bunch of close range fighting like that, I would have brought a different Annihilator configuration here. I have one of those as well. I will make another video about that configuration too here. This one, I mean, it can handle obviously situations like that too, but again, this isn't what I was going to show you. I was going to show you how it can snipe at a longer ranges, beyond the sensor range. Given the fact that this is a large, fairly large combat area, so sorry about this, guys. I will have to make another video. Yeah, I neutralized these Wolves Dragoons, which are the elite of the elite, and I have like rival Intel level 53. Yeah, so you see 2 Atlases here, and there was 1 Atlas D. So we killed 3 Atlases, 1 Battlemeister, that was my headshot. And then the hatchback also was another the headshot of mine. But I have a very poor salvage rights in here. Let's see. I can purchase salvage with a huge markup. I have a mod for that. Let's see. Should I buy something? Whatever. As I've mentioned, only an armor damage, nothing significant. Yeah, I guess I owe another video regarding this build. Now, what's important to mention here is the upgrades that I use. This is something that I also forgot to tell you. Very, very important. Well, first of all, as I've mentioned in one of my previous videos, I have a mod which allows every single upgrade to occupy only a single slot. Now, the very important upgrades for this build in particular, I have everything to help that horrible reloading time of this heavy rifle. You know, it's 8 RPM, that's too bad. it changed it to 10 RPM, which helps a lot, because faster weapon cycling on top of quick ammo feed, 2 quick ammo feeds, greatly helps. And then of course, you know, this heat capacity was also very important, given how hot it gets. Well, I'm sorry for the fact that things didn't go as planned in this video. Nevertheless, it was still a successful mission, but I will have to make another one, just you know, to demonstrate my point about this build. Anyways, you know, actually let me cancel the work order on this one, actually, because I don't remember which one is this. Let me just quickly show you one more time the specifics of this build, just in case, you know, if you wanna make a screenshot and build it yourself. Also, as I've mentioned during the mission, it's also important how you group these weapons. So these are my weapon groupings. Alright, well, thanks again so much for watching. I know it's a long video, I was talking too much, and I guess until the next time.